Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently pushing across the Republic of Suriname, and we now have access to infrastructure in the Amazon, which means that we have plenty of supply, and it is just a matter of time at this point until Suriname falls. So that is wonderful. Looks like we're actually pushing pretty heavily here. I was wondering why there were no battles, but it looks like we've already pushed in. And we're already most of the way there. So, okay, yeah. There's some battles going on over here, but their capital is going to fall very, very soon. That is amazing to see. I'm very happy about that. We have an unassigned division here, and we'll just toss that in over here. That'll be fine. Another one? Apparently. And we'll toss that in over here. Perfect. Look at all these free India troops. Okay. Not sure what they're doing. Just chilling, I guess. Good for them. We have research slots available, but we have nothing to research. So you can just safely ignore this. I'm going to right-click it. There's literally nothing else to research other than what we're already researching. So that's, you know, fine. I don't think the spearhead is all that important anymore. That said, it's this army's orders, so I'm going to leave it as is for right now. There's this VP up here in the Caribbean. We're not focusing on the Caribbean right now. That's going to be a pain to take, by the way. That's going to be a pain. Okay, well, that island hopping is not going to be exciting. I think our next steps, however, are definitely to fight Inca and Peru, not at the same time, at different times. Peru first. In fact, I'm currently thinking that we might want to remove the orders from this army and tell it to come frontline Inca, or rather Peru, over here. Okay, we'll just start getting going over there. It takes forever for us to move around these rainforests, so that's fine. We're also working on some infrastructure repair over here, and we should be working a little bit more on that full infrastructure, to be sure. Excellent. So there are quite a lot of Ojibwa troops over this way now, I'm seeing. But that's okay. Let's check supplies here. Ooh, this is part of a new supply zone. Noted. That's going to make things, oops, that's going to make things complicated over here, for sure. Do we have control over anything over here? No, we don't. We could spam out some naval bases. That's not the worst concept right now. We might be able to get some additional supply in there, but we don't control the infrastructure in this region quite yet. That said, I think we're okay. I think. Okay, yeah, we're completely fine. We are 100% fine. This push up here, that did the trick for us. These guys are now pocketed. There's no naval base here, so they actually have no source of supplies, and these guys are going to get wiped super fast, and that's a lot of troops. That's 42 divisions. There's no naval base here, right? Yeah, no naval base whatsoever. They will not succeed in holding this. They will get wiped. Wondering what's going on over here. Are we not currently holding this? Do you have anybody going there? Anybody at all? No, because our front line isn't there. Right. Okay, so we're going to remove this front line. And we're going to set this as our new front line. And this is completely fine. We're still going to continue attacking over here. There's still 48 divisions assigned to this, apparently. So that'll get cleaned up. And then they should get reassigned to this, in theory. And we're on our way over, and hopefully we don't lose this area. That would be awkward if we did. But you can see here their supplies are just dropping like a rock. They're not getting resupplied. There's nothing they can really do. Excellent. Now, as far as this goes, of course, our offensive line here is just super simply a push to the sea. And that'll bisect Inca, which is going to be a very beneficial thing for us. Who, by the way, is very weak, last time I checked. Inca has, 1,000 available manpower right now. We don't actually know how many regiments they have, I don't think. But I do see that this here is a couple of 1 stacks. So I think that Inca is not very powerful at all. But let's just get this wrapped up over here. We're slowly pushing our way in. And these guys are gone. Just like that. Completely wiped. Fantastic. So we are, of course, going to get down here, and we should probably start justifying on Peru. There we go. I'm going to hold off on justifying on Inca for now, though, because we've still got a fair amount going on up here. Excellent. Let's check on the supply situation here. It's perfectly fine. The supply system is, in fact, wonderful right now. We're going to need to do a little bit of repairs to the infrastructure in this area. But excellent. Our next offensive line should probably be Caracas, right? Something like that. Just get all of this cleaned up. Go ahead and execute that whenever you're ready. We are moving troops up here. We may end up 2 days and 20 hours. Okay, I think we're going to succeed in holding this. So that's great. Now these guys are not in position yet. They'll be in position eventually. And building these naval bases over here isn't a super high priority, but it's also not like I don't care about canceling them. We might as well be building something, I suppose. Okay, so we're continuing to do damage to the infrastructure in this region, but that's completely fine. We're winning these battles. We're absolutely going to push up, and Suriname will probably capitulate very, very soon. If we check our war here, we'll see that Suriname is in here somewhere. 66% towards capitulation. Perfect. And how many VPs are on the way here? There's 3 VPs over here and 3 out here, but this one's actually owned by the Caribbean. So that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Not concerned about that. Can we do any more prospecting for resources? Not currently, unfortunately. We are still short on rubber, steel, and chromium. It's to be expected, I suppose. Hey, there's a push. I like it. How are we doing logistically? This is part of a different supply area than this one. Noted. I'm just used to this massive supply area of the Amazon, I guess. Well, this is fine. We're just going to continue pushing up to Caracas. As far as this goes, Peru has 31 divisions over here. That's definitely a number of divisions. That said, they only have 6 to 10 military factories, and I mean, they have a lot of manpower considering their size. Good for them. Like, that's a lot of manpower. Fascinating. Let's go ahead and construct some land forts over here before we declare on them. We can't declare on them yet anyway, right? But we can construct land forts right now just to make sure they can't start pushing us with their troops, in case they're tougher than I'm expecting. Supply-wise, I mean, their supply should be fine because that's their capital. Ours will also be fine, though, so I'm not concerned about that. Yeah, we're pushing in nicely over here, doing a lot of damage to these guys. The fact that we were able to push through the Amazon and now this mountainous region is making me very, very happy. I'm incredibly happy about that. How long until our justification over here is done? Still like 100 days. Okay, that will be a while. As far as the war against Inca goes, that's going to be very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. We're doing okay in terms of our naval supremacy. We should probably think about, for one thing, reinforcing some of these. But I think we're doing fine for now. I'm much more concerned about pushing through here, getting ourselves additional resources. Okay, let's see about building any infrastructure. Hello. Oh, we can't build this yet. We almost can build infrastructure up here. Is this infrastructure maxed? It actually is, so we don't need to build infrastructure up there. However, we may need to repair the infrastructure. Iceland and Greenland, and that's not too necessary. But it's completely fine. Yeah, I'm not concerned. And we'll just continue bulking up these land forts over here. Because these guys, we don't want them to get pushed by these forces. That said, these forces look pretty weak to me, honestly. I mean, it's just their numbers, right? Is why the enemy is stronger, I'm pretty sure. We have free military factories. That's always exciting. What do we need? More modern tanks is what we need. Okay, so where are modern tanks? Yeah, we're already maxed on that. I suppose we could start a new modern tank line. So let's grab our modern tank. There we go. This is not going to help our steel and chromium. There's no doubt about that. But that is fine. So we'll just pop this right up over into here. And we'll do that. We only had this single factory ready, so... I mean, that's not too bad, I suppose. It'll produce 1 per month. Okay, 2.31 per week now. Fair enough. Well, we're definitely getting some good pushes going on over here. I'm very happy to see that. Logistically, it's a bit rough in this area. But I think we're okay. Infiltration in depth just finished up. That does, of course, mean that we do want to grab nothing. Nothing else. We can choose no other technologies. Literally everything is researched. Okay. Sounds good. So there we go. We're just going to continue pushing into Caracas. And realistically, this is probably too many troops to put up into this choke point. That's definitely something to consider. But once we have control over all this over here, we shouldn't really have a problem there. Can we do any repairs over here? Well, we can do repairs here. Sure, we'll get started on those. And work on our supply lines. Fantastic. In the meantime, the AI does seem to be smart enough to pull troops back into other supply zones to resupply. So, hopefully, that will continue to be the case. As far as this over here goes, we're basically just waiting on our war goal, or our justification to finish up. So, that's mostly the hold up there. I don't know how we're going to get over here. Of course, if Suriname capitulates, then I don't think we'll have to. Which I believe that Suriname will capitulate. We only need 16% more, and we've got one here and one in San Felipe. Caracas is about to fall. So ultimately, this will be fine. They're attacking over this river, but that'll be completely fine. That'll just take a little bit of time. And yeah, I believe that they'll capitulate, and then we'll just be able to land an army over here. Just to hold this and push into Inca once we actually start fighting Inca. But for now, our target is definitely Peru. And then Inca will be afterwards. We can probably... Let's look at the supply areas here. 1, 2, 3, 4 supply areas. Technically. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 supply areas up here as well. And then Peru might be one. So potentially as many as 5 supply areas. Okay. Yeah, this seems completely fine. I'm going to move these armies into these army groups here. Actually, no, we can't. We have to leave these in the Asian theater if we want to have these troops on this border. Noted. Okay. So how do we want to organize this is my question. I mean, Caracas is about to fall, yeah. And once Caracas falls, how many victory points would that be worth? Would that be the 16 that we need? I don't know. San Felipe might be the victory point that we need to take. Actually, if we look at this, it feels like I saw somewhere an indicator of how much each victory point was worth, but I can't remember where that was. Regardless, we're going to take Caracas quite soon, so that'll be fine. We're just going to continue pushing up. Whichever of these falls first is irrelevant, and in fact, they fell at the same time. So we're just going to push on in. Fantastic. A hilarious thing that we could try to do here, but it's not going to happen because of the lack of air bases, would be to have our paratroopers just drop in on their capital immediately behind the front line. That would be funny. But like I said, no air bases means that that is not going to happen. Caracas is falling as we speak. We're currently on our way in, but it will take us some time to get there. They're trying to shuffle reinforcements in and out of here. Brazil still has a lot of troops over here. Fascinating. But Caracas has indeed fallen. Let's go ahead and set our front line to be, or not our front line, our offensive line to be right there. Continue pushing, lads. Oh, there we go. Suriname just capitulated. Great news. That's what we were looking for. These guys are now... Actually, there's a naval base here, so they're not technically pocketed, but they are going to be overrun, I think. Just like that. Suriname is ours. Okay, so let's assign, say, these guys to frontline here. And then the rest of these we can assign to frontline this Inca border. Something along the lines of that. So that's Army 14. This one is Army 11. Okay. So this one is Army 21, Army 12, and Army 15. Perfect. So these guys are on their way over. That is ideal. We're going to need another army group over here. For right now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete all orders from this army. I'm going to move these paratroopers out of this army group into their own thing here. Like, out of the army group. Out of the army... Nope. Is this technically not an army group? Hang on a moment. I want these to be in an army group. That would help. That would absolutely help. And let's give you a general if we've got one. Nope. So we'll make a new one. And we'll just put him right on over there. And then I'm going to manually draw this front line, I think. And we're going to make it be... Okay, so we're just going to... I was just reading that tooltip. We're going to make it be... Ooh, okay, that's rough. Okay, we're going to delete that. And we're going to tell these guys that they're going to frontline here. As they have been. These guys, or rather the rest of the army group, is going to frontline against Inca like so. Now this will definitely be too much for this single army to frontline, right? But actually it might not be. Inca's super weak. Well, we'll let ourselves rearray here. And then we will start justifying on Inca. Fantastic. These guys will take some time to get over there. There's no doubt about that. But that is to be expected. Now, we could assign additional armies to this. I'm actually not sure it's needed. It looks like Inca doesn't even have enough to defend the whole border. Like, Inca appears to me super duper weak. Unfortunately, we don't currently have a justification against them. Inca X15 up here. Is this a different state or a different nation? They are a collaboration government of the Inca. Okay, noted. This division will be assigned into here. Excellent. And how long do we have left on our justification on Peru? Still a while. That's not surprising, I suppose. Well, our construction is ongoing here. Things are coming along. And that is wonderful. Very glad to see that. Now that we've had some capitulation, can we do additional prospecting for resources? No, I'm actually a little surprised that we can't, like, develop the rubber resources of the Amazon. That's definitely a little bit odd to me. Huh. That is a lot of aluminum. Okay. We're not getting all of this. Because non-core controller. How do we get cores in this game anyway? Is that just an automated process? I think it's probably to do with this compliance or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So let's check in on our logistics over here. 24 out of 35. That's not bad. 9 out of 7 here, though. So we should probably... That's currently coming in from here, which has naval base. But I think that we should build additional naval bases here. Like, honestly, just along all of this that we can. I think we should build additional naval bases up here so that we can hopefully continue to supply this region. But this is going to definitely be a potential issue. Our bottleneck is ports in Barranquilla, which is here. Noted. Well, building additional naval bases up there will help tremendously, and we'll have some of those finishing up relatively soon. That said, those should certainly be a high priority. There we go. Excellent. So let's get those underway, and let's prepare for attacking the Inca. The Caribbean, or rather the British Antilles over here, is definitely going to be interesting for us to conquer. There's no doubt about that. Hello, Japan. What are you doing over here? Not trying to invade, I hope. That would be awkward. That'd be awkward indeed. Okay, well, we're pretty much at this point, as I said. Oh, I'm a moron. It's right there. How many victory points this province is worth? Okay. So that's good to know. We could do additional recruitment for local agents. I don't think there's a reason to do that currently. We're just waiting at this point for our justifications. I should have started these earlier. That much is clear. At least like 20 to 30 days earlier. That said, this does give us time to construct naval bases up here, which is not a terrible thing. That's not a terrible thing at all. And we're also working on constructing land forts, of course. So all of these constructions are reasonable things to be working on. I don't mind that. And all we really need to do is get 10 supply in here, which is barely any, honestly. Ports in Barranquilla is our bottleneck here, so this should solve our bottleneck. Now we still have some troops on the way over here, so there's no real rush, although I am very interested in attacking Peru. But that is definitely, at this point, something that will have to happen in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time after I do that. Excellent.